Today we are working Psalm 105. In traditional psalm magic, Psalm 105 is used for letting go of the past and for healing illnesses. Today I would like to use Psalm 105 to open up to the miracles that are our birthright. Miracles are available to us without any effort on our part if we but open to them. And that's what this psalm is really good at helping us with. The way we work psalm magic is very simple and effective. We speak the psalm out loud all the way through once without stopping. We frequently refer to this as an incantation. Then we go back through the psalm and we take it one verse at a time, and we search for the meanings that lie behind the words. These hidden or occult meanings we refer to very frequently as magic seeds. And when we search, dig, and work at finding those magic seeds, we are in effect planting those magic seeds in the depths of our mind, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that's exactly what we are going to do right now with Psalm 105. O give thanks unto the Lord, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the people. Sing unto him, sing psalms unto him, talk ye of all his wondrous works. Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord. Seek the Lord and his strength, seek his face evermore. Remember his marvelous works that he hath done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his Lord. He is the Lord our God, his judgments are in all the earth. He hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, saying, Unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance. When they were but a few men in number, yea, very few, and strangers in it, when they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people. He suffered no man to do them wrong, yea, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, Touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He brake the whole staff of bread. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron, until the time that his word came. The word of the Lord tried him. The king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. He made him lord of his house and ruler of all his substance, to bind his princes at his pleasure, and to teach his senators wisdom. Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. And he increased his people greatly, and made them stronger than their enemies. He turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants. He sent Moses his servant, and Aaron whom he had chosen. They showed his signs among them, and wonders in the land of Ham. He sent darkness, and he made it dark, and they rebelled not against his word. He turned their waters into blood, and slew their fish. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance in the chambers of their kings. He spake, and there came divers sorts of flies and lice in all their coasts. He gave them hail for rain, and flaming fire in their land. He smote their vines also, and their fig trees, and brake the trees of their coasts. He spake, and the locusts came, and caterpillars, and that without number, and did eat up all the herbs in their land, and devoured the fruit of their ground. He smote also the firstborn in their land, and the chief of all their strength. He brought them forth also with silver and gold, and there was not one feeble person among their tribes. Egypt was glad when they departed, for the fear of them fell upon them. He spread a cloud for a covering, and fire to give light to the night. The people asked, and he brought quails, and satisfied them with the bread of heaven. He opened the rock, and the waters gushed out. They ran in dry places like a river. For he remembered his holy promise, and Abraham his servant. And he brought forth his people with joy, and his chosen with gladness. And he gave them the lands of the heathen, and they inherited the labor of their people, that they might observe his statutes and keep his laws. Praise ye the Lord. Let's first of all orient ourselves to who the Lord is. The Lord represents for us the one power of the universe, the power of all creation. There's just this one force, one source, and one substance in all the universe. It's not one among many. It's not one against others. It's just one. Just like there's only one electricity. Electricity might have different iterations, but there's just one force called electricity. And that one force is a symbol of this larger or more complete force that we are calling the Lord in the Psalms. This is a pre-gender force. It's not a deity in the traditional sense, in that it's not an entity. It's not a personality. It is pure force. And it is the force of all love. It is the force of all life. It is you as a soul. You're an individuation of this force. You're an expression and an extension of this force. It is the force of all spirit. It is indestructible. It cannot be harmed in any way. It is all-knowing and all-intelligent. It is all-powerful. It is the power of truth itself. Lies cannot exist within its presence. It is the power of law. There are laws that govern the universe, and the laws that govern this universe that scientists are always discovering and investigating is the expression of this force. This force is omnipresent. This force is omnipresence itself. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. Call upon his name, make known his deeds among the people. So when you are ready to awaken to these miraculous events that are your birthright, you're not asking for a favor. You are just recognizing that if you're not experiencing happiness, if you're not experiencing joy, if you're experiencing problems, that is not the will of this force. When you give thanks unto this force, call upon his name, and it's saying his here, but we understand that we are speaking of a pre-gender force. The name of anything in the Psalms means the nature of that thing. And we've just described some of the qualities thereof. So when you call upon the name of God, you're calling upon the qualities thereof. Make known his deeds among all the people. That means remember. Remember. The people are your thoughts. Remember the deeds of the miraculous experiences of being at one with this force is to open our thoughts, to open our minds to the idea that if it happened before, it will happen again. And it can happen right now if we but hold that thought open in our minds. Sing unto him, sing psalms unto him, talk ye of all of his wondrous works. If we focus our every thought among the wondrous works of this force, then we are tuning into, it's like a radio dial, we're tuning into the vibration of those things. And when we tune into the vibration of those things appear for us, those things manifest for us. But if we're not tuning into that, we're tuning into these other thoughts, the thoughts of what we call our ego mind, then that's what we're going to be experiencing. Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord. So to seek the Lord, to seek this force, to revel in the qualities or the holy names of this force is the best way that we can use our time, the best way that we can use our mind when we are attempting to experience manifestations of the miraculous. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face evermore. To seek the face of something is to seek that which is the recognizable part of that something. I know it's you when I see your face. I recognize your face. That's what we have facial recognition software, is because the face, very much like the thumbprint or the fingerprint, is an identifier. So when you seek the face of the Lord, you're seeking the identity of this force. And it says evermore. That means in the present moment. In the present moment, right now, that's what you're doing with your mind. You're not ruminating on what's not working. You're seeking the face of the Lord. Remember his marvelous works that he hath done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. There is an endless There are endless memories of the miraculous if you will remember properly, if you will orient your mind properly. And the reason why memory is a good thing in magic is because it tunes us into the vibration of the very thing that we are seeking now. O ye seed of Abraham his servant, ye children of Jacob his chosen, he is the Lord our God, his judgments are in all the earth. So when we are looking for those parts of our mind that are called Jacob and Abraham, we are looking back into our own history and into our own mind for those forces within ourselves that experienced the miraculous before, that experienced these miracles before. His judgments are in all the earth. That means that the physical experiences of that which we desire in the miraculous are already there. It's just a matter of us tuning into them so that they can reveal themselves to us. We don't have to ask that the miracles be done for us. We just have to tune our minds to where they are already given to us. He hath remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. When the infinite has remembered the covenant, that just means that the infinite always knows that the law of cause and effect is the bottom line law of the universe. It knows that. It operates through that. It operates through cause and effect. The invisible world is the realm of cause. The physical world is the realm of effect. We are so focused on the physical world that we try to do things in the physical world to create things that we want for ourselves, and that's where we get stuck. But the infinite knows and remembers at all times that it's the invisible that is the world of cause. So if we seek for the world of the invisible where the infinite exists, we are always putting the horse before the cart, and things are always going to work out for us because we are at one with that covenant, that law, that agreement. Which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Now this is hearkening back to history within the Bible, and it's really interesting to go through each and every symbol. And there's times that we do a lot of that. But for today, it's more important that we understand that these are symbols for us of look back. Look back when things worked out when they didn't seem like they could. Look back and remember when you had a miracle happen for you. Just think about it. Remember those times when those things happened, when you were shown that the law of cause and effect works, when you were shown, and it was very clear to you that the laws, what they're calling the covenant, are always in operation. Saying, unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance, this promised land of Canaan. Don't think of it in terms of something that happened to a country called Israel in the Bible. Think of it as happening to you. You are Israel. Israel is representative of your soul. Isis, Ra, El, Israel. You are female, male, and divine, all at once. That's you. Now, Israel as you, it says, unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance. The land of Canaan is the old reality. It's not that it's bad, it's that it's already manifest. And if you look to Canaan, or if you look to the physical world for your good, you are trying to look into the realm of effect in order to get something that can't be gotten from the world of effect, because the world of cause is the only thing that is causative. If you're looking to the land of Canaan or to the world of effect to make change happen, the best you're going to come up with is superstition. The idea that you could do something in the physical world to make something happen, but you're never going to have success there. Because the only way that you can have success is by moving into the world of cause, which is the promised land. And the promised land is what happens when Canaan becomes the home for Israel. In other words, the physical world is re-established, is made anew. And that happens from the invisible world. And so the promised land in this case is you receiving and experiencing that which you desire. That's the miracle. That's when it manifests. When they were but a few men in number, yea, very few, and strangers in it, when they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another, he suffered no man to do them wrong, yea, he reproved kings for their sakes. In the interim time, as we are establishing ourselves in this new land, we feel very alone. We feel vulnerable. We are like a stranger in a strange land. As we are moving through this new land, as things start to manifest, we have to recognize that we are being protected. That if we don't try to make things happen ourselves, the infinite will do it for us, through us. Saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He brake the whole staff of bread. When we are moving through what the ego has already given us in the land of Canaan, as it shifts, as it transforms into the promised land, as it transforms into the miraculous, we have to do nothing but allow the infinite to undo the world that the ego has created, undo the world that the ego has made for us. So all of the suffering that we've had to endure, all of the problems that we've had to endure, all of the issues that we are asking to be transformed, we are not supposed to do anything about them. We have to let the infinite take care of it. It's our trying to overcome these things that keeps them in place. But the infinite says, to all of those experiences, all of those problems that the ego has given us, all of those unsolvable problems that we're asking for a miracle to cure, the infinite is saying, don't touch my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land and brake the whole staff of bread. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron until a time that his word came. The word of the Lord tried him. The king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. Joseph didn't need to try to undo the fetters. Didn't need to try to convince anybody of anything, just had to know that the infinite was on it. And then the very ego that caused the fetters to happen was forced to undo those fetters, was forced to free him. Now, this is symbolic of what's happening for you. The very problems that you're so desperately trying to get away from and have replaced by this new miraculous experience that you're asking for, those very problems are going to undo themselves. He made him a lord of his house and a ruler of all his substance. The very things that have been a problem for you are then going to become sources of wealth for you, sources of good for you. To bind his princes at his pleasure and teach his senators wisdom. Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham, and he increased his people greatly and made them stronger than their enemies. As you sojourn through what used to be such a problem for you, you notice that the very problems themselves start to dissolve and turn into the miraculous that you're asking for, but it happens for you and through you, not from you. You can't force this. When it says, and he increased his people greatly, made them stronger than their enemies, the people are thoughts. The mind that you are now a part of is a mind that brings forth these miraculous experiences. It all happens in the invisible world. Your mind is peopled with thoughts that accept this miraculous occurrence, rather than your mind being peopled with thoughts that keep in place the slavery, that keep in place the problems. As the mind is able to people itself with thoughts that are miraculous by nature, then things change. But it all has to happen in the invisible world. He turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants. He sent Moses, his servant, and Aaron, who he had chosen. They showed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham. Right where the problem is, the infinite sends the messengers, the thoughts of the new promised land, of the new miracles in the midst of the problem. It happens as you're living in the problem starts to transform. So you're not trying to run away from the problem. You're not trying to change the problem into anything else. You're allowing it to be transformed for you. And it happens perfectly. It happens efficiently. He sent darkness and made it dark, and they rebelled not against his word. He turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance in the chambers of their kings. He spake, and there came diverse sorts of flies and lice in their coasts. He gave them hail for rain and flaming fire in their land. He smote their vines and also their fig trees, and brake the trees of their coasts. He spake, and the locusts came, and the caterpillars, and that without number. And he did eat up all of the herbs in their land, and devoured the fruit of their ground. He smote also the firstborn of their land, and the chief of all their strength. He brought them forth also with silver and gold, and there was not one feeble person among their tribes. This is what happens when you decide to let it happen for you, instead of trying to take care of the problem yourself. The problem is utterly destroyed. The world where those problems exist, that world that the ego created for you, that's what the ego does. It says, unsolvable problem here. There's nothing you can do about it, and you're just going to have to live with it. When you decide to allow the infinite into that experience and to reorder your mind, then those problems that seemed insurmountable are absolutely dissolved, utterly demolished right in front of your eyes in the most unusual sometimes and miraculous ways that you didn't even know were possible. Frogs and locusts and things. Egypt was glad when they departed. I can imagine. Egypt was glad when they departed, for the fear of them fell upon them. The old order, the old world of problems, those unsolvable problems that seemed so immovable, impossible to solve. It's as if the problems want you to leave. The problems want you gone, because the problems have their own survival instinct. The ego has its own survival instinct, and you don't have to do anything but be there. And the infinite works through you to dissolve all these things. He spread a cloud for a covering and a fire to give light at night. So the cloud blocks the sun's rays that in the desert are so impossible to survive. And a fire to give light in the night. So when you don't know what to do, there's a fire for you there. So you're always being guided, whether it's by the cloud or whether it's by the fire, whether it's light outside or whether it's dark outside in your mind. No matter what, you're going to know what to do. And you don't have to do much. That's the cool thing about this kind of working here, is that miracles aren't something that you can do. Magic is something you can do, but we're talking about miracles here. Miracles happen for you. There's not much for you to do except for be aware of them and be willing for them, and to let go of your allegiance to the old ways, to the old world. The people asked, and he brought quails and satisfied them with the bread of heaven. He opened the rock, and the waters gushed out, and they ran in the dry places like a river. This is you being taken care of. In the interim, when this old world is dying and the new world is being shown to you, if you need something, it's just given to you. If there's no water in the desert, that's okay. The rocks will pour forth water for you. If there's nothing to eat because you're in the desert, it's okay. There's going to be fowl that comes that you can use for food. There will be bread from heaven. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to figure it out. For he remembered his holy promise and Abraham his servant, and he brought forth his people with joy and his chosen with gladness. And that's the infinite's will for you. Joy and gladness. Wants you to be very happy. Wants you to come through any problems with flying colors. And not only does the infinite want you to get through the problem, but wants you to have everything you could possibly want. There's nothing that's withheld. Not one little thing will be withheld. That's a pretty good deal. He gave them the lands of the heathen, and they inherited the labor of the people. When you get the lands of the heathen, that means part of war was that not only did you conquer these people, but you got their stuff. When you conquered them, you got their stuff. The spoils of war were yours. There's a similar symbol here, that whatever the problems of the ego were gets repurposed. It gets repurposed into wonderful things for you. It's all being done for you, that they might observe his statutes and keep his laws. Praise ye the Lord. To observe the statutes and keep his laws, all that means is that you are being guided moment by moment. And the only thing you have to do is listen and be taken care of and guided. Everything that you need is given to you in the moment. Everything that you need to do is told to you in the moment. As you work this kind of magic, this is very high magic, you get to the point where your only job is to do what is exactly in front of you to do, being guided and led. You don't worry about what's coming next. You don't worry about what already happened. You stay in the moment and you learn how to work in the moment. What's in front of you is what you are tasked with, and how to handle what's in front of you is shown to you. You're guided very specifically. So this is all about you learning how to be a very highly intuitive being, and that you don't have to do anything other than be guided. It's very interesting because that sounds so simple, but what happens when we work a psalm like this, we notice our resistance to wanting everything to be simple. We very frequently want to make it complicated, and we want to make our future something that we have to be all involved in. And we take our past and regurgitate it and go through it and analyze it. Whereas in this particular way of working, none of that matters. Whatever in your past is good for you is going to be repurposed, and the rest of it's going to be devoured. The future is safe because it's in the hands of the infinite. The present moment is where your power is, and it's teaching you to take one step at a time, being guided and led and watching as the miraculous opens up and flowers for you. And these are the gifts that the infinite has for you and always has had for you. And there's nothing too good for you. The infinite wants everything as good as it possibly can be. And you're saying yes to that. And you're learning the mysteries, the magical path of walking with intuition and at the behest of the infinite's law, the law of cause and effect. The causative plane is the invisible world. The world of effect is the visible world. And when you and the infinite are co-creating on the invisible plane, the visible plane springs forth in abundance and joy and all good for you. There's never a limit to how good it can be. So you just keep coming back to this psalm each and every day until you get a sense. You're going to get that sense of certainty, that sense of peace about the situation, and you're not worried about it anymore. And that's a clear sign to you from your deep mind, this spell has taken, and you don't have to worry about it anymore, and you can move on to something else. Thank you so very much for spending some time with me today. I so appreciate you. Until next time, blessed be.